Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking to one of my friends, Mike Incorvaia Jr. He runs one of the largest teams in Ohio. He was previously with Keller Williams. He most recently came over to eXp Realty, and today we're going to talk about what makes a team of that size move to a different platform. Obviously, for most of us, that would be a big endeavor, and today we get to talk to Mike. So Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your team size, your production? I'd love to hear all about you.
Cool. Thanks, Will. I really appreciate you taking the time to have me on here. And yeah, so we did make the move over after being with Keller Williams for 16 years. So we, had heard about eXp for a while, and we thought about making the move earlier than we did. We made the move this past August. The actual day was August 18th. And at that time, we moved over 35 total people, and that included 30 agents and 5 admins. We did lose 4 or 5 agents, decided to stay with Keller Williams, which is fine. And now fast forward here, less than a year later, and we are up to 47 agents and 4 admins. So wow, we've been growing the team quite a bit.
Tell us your stats when like 2021. I don't know if you figured out 2022 yet, but what were your 2021 stats? Production wise, number of transactions?
Yeah, so transactions were around 721, and we did 218 million. And obviously, with the way the market shifted with prices going up and lower inventory, our number in 2022 was actually lower for the number of units, which was around 600, but we still did about 200 million. Same goes for me personally. In 21, I did about 90 transactions personally for 23 million, but then this year I did 55 for 22 million. So it just shows that I got smarter by upping up my average sales price and did less units for almost similar volume. So
worked a lot less hours.
Yeah, well, actually, I mean, as we all know, it's been a market that we've had to navigate, as many things have changed, as it's not as easy anymore as just, putting a sign in the yard and it's gone. No. But no, we moved over 35, and like I said, now we're just under 50. And since we've made the move, couple things I can tell you for sure. One of the things, let's talk about the myths of what we heard about eXp. Okay. And I'm sure when I ask you about your business and your merger with your brokerage, you're going to probably say some of the same things.
We both succumbed to the propaganda for a lot of years.
We heard that you're never going to talk to anybody. You can't communicate with anybody. It's all in a virtual world. There's no training. There's no education, none of this stuff. Let me be the first one to tell you, as the owner of a top 5 team in the state of Ohio. We've been in the top 5 teams in Ohio for the past 5 or 6 years. As we made this move over to eXp, I've never seen collaboration at this level. The leadership of this company, the higher ups, are willing to answer the phone, respond to text messages, respond to Facebook messages, emails. Our broker for the state of Ohio, they made the transition amazing for us with a team that helped us implement moving everybody over at once because it was such a big task. So we had more communication and more collaboration. For example, we're at the end of the year. We just finished up the end of the year. Everybody as agents is looking for their 1099s, this and that. I had a question. I logged into my eXp World, which is our virtual platform. I went into the accounting department, grabbed a little ticket, talked to somebody within 2 minutes, got the answer to what I was looking for, and had that document emailed to me within 3 minutes. So
I know, it's insane.
It's insane. The speed of which everything moves is insane. Collaboration is unbelievable. Now, look at us doing this Zoom. You didn't recruit me or anything like that, but we're friends. We're both with the same company. We're looking to help each other. That's something with this company around the country. Everybody is willing to share. Everybody is willing to help. So in addition to eXp's training, which comes out weekly, our group also has training, just like your group you're in.
Oh, yeah. It's constant.
There's probably, and this may be a low number, there's probably 50 trainings a week if somebody wants to take those, all available to them. And one of the things that I really, really like about the eXp platform, part of becoming an icon agent where you earn your cap back in stock, is you have to teach a class in the world is one of the requirements. So these people that are teaching classes are actually out there with their feet to the pavement doing it. It's not somebody who just comes in, says a bunch of stuff, teaches a class, and has never actually done it. These are people
not gurus.
No, not gurus, people who are producing. And the business model itself is what drew us here, because number one, expansion. With eXp's model, we don't have to worry about being involved in 8 different market centers if we want to expand to different places. One of the things for us too is being able to keep our brand. It's the Incorvaia Team. We don't want to have 15 different names across 15 different states and 15 different brokerages. We just want to have it as one name that we've built up. So that was one of the big things.
There's no territory rules anymore.
Right, exactly. And the whole stock and revenue share, to me, is icing on the cake. The business model itself, it reminds me a lot of how KW used to be back in the day. There's no special deals. There are no special deals. Everybody's on an even playing field. And, I really like that. And then as far as the revenue share and the stock go, that's icing on the cake, because I can tell you, so we're up to just under 50 agents. Some of our agents who are producing, who are doing deals and doing the contribution out of every deal, 5% of their commission check to buy stock, they are going crazy because they have money in their stock account, whether it's $2 a share or $2,000 a share, it doesn't matter. It's something that you have to build future wealth, which at other companies, it's hard to come by.
I agree with you. Let me ask you, so company of your size, I think this is important for other people, because there's a lot of teams at other companies and they're just like, you either run away from fear or towards opportunity. And you didn't have, obviously you guys were doing great. And the easiest thing to do would be to just stay where you were. What was the deciding factor for a team of your size, a mega team, 30, 40, 50 agents now? What's the deciding factor for a team of your size to change platforms and leave Keller Williams and join eXp?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we did own 2 franchises here. We own 2 market centers. That's 2 of the biggest ones in Ohio, Strongsville and Westlake. My dad was the operating partner.
Okay.
And after he sold his interest in those offices, we stayed with KW. But as we built these relationships with agents across the country with KW, and we started seeing all these big teams moving over to eXp, at first it's like, wow, they went over there. Then it's like they went over there, and we started seeing all these people moving over. It just got to the point where it couldn't be ignored anymore. I mean, at first it's like a 1 or 2 off of people we knew, but when we're seeing these people that taught us at KW that, like Rick Giha and Gene Frederick and all these people that are, crushing it at eXp, it's a business model that can't be ignored. And, I really like the idea of the revenue share coming from the revenue versus the profit, because our family owning 2 market centers, we know what those expenses every month look like and how profit sharing works and how it's shared after all those expenses are paid. And it's a big difference.
Well, now with the destructive competition within the real estate world, everybody's in a race to zero, and as caps get reduced to compete, it can't help but impact profit.
There's all kinds of stuff out there. You've got companies now that are starting up that are replicating eXp's model that are different. You've got companies like KW that are still out there. You've got the traditional companies. You've got the 100% brokerages where the agents want to go there because it's a high split. I wanted to be with a company that is a national company, international company, and has training, education, collaboration. The first day we were here, and I had the ability to get referrals state to state with Keller Williams. They had a group, but just in my group, when I went in there, I needed an agent in Tampa and New Jersey. The day we moved over, I had 2 agents within 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
And the other thing too is just to touch on it is the stuff that they give us at eXp. When you talk about collaboration, KV Core, we get it free at eXp. There's people out there who are paying thousands of dollars to have these platforms.
It's $2,000 a month for the team version. I think we pay $399 for the team now.
And then I randomly stumbled upon it because as we were moving over and getting all of our systems dialed in, we were using a platform called Sierra Interactive that one of the guys had. And then he had less team members. And when he merged in with us, when we started putting all our team members on it, it really wasn't that user friendly. And I said, man, I really wish we could get Boomtown. So then I just randomly made a call to Boomtown, and the rep goes, "Oh, by the way, the owner of your company, Glenn Sanford, just struck a deal with us." And I said, "Really? What's that?" And they haven't even announced it. They waive all the startup fees for Boomtown. So that saves a few $1,000s there, and it's a discount rate per month. So having the ability to get Boomtown at a discount because we're eXp, having KV Core, and having all of these things in place really was just another piece to add to our business. And for us as a team, we made a key hire when we moved over. We hired a gal named Danny that she had a mega team of her own, and her background is in teaching. She has a master's degree, and her passion is coaching. So now we've implemented on our team a coaching platform that out of our 47 agents, we've got just under 20 of them that are enrolled, that are being kept accountable. They're coming in once a week for coaching.
Wow, that's excellent.
It's a totally different atmosphere that we have here now than we've ever had, and way more engagement and just more systems and tools in place. We even after almost 20 years finally took the time to write down a manual for our team with all the processes of, this is who this is what the websites that we use are, this is how you do everything. So now we know onboarding agents on our team, there are no chances that they will not succeed if they plug in.
Wow, that's amazing. So let's get specific. So you've brought your team over. After talking to a lot of team, I mean, I spoke to the #1 team, Keller Williams team in Canada, Ibrahim Hussein. I interviewed him on my podcast. He did 400 million in sales last year. He joined eXp in the spring. I interviewed the #1 Remax team in Canada, Brad Vanderwall. He did about 600 million in sales. And the one common thread is with these large, like when you get into these massive teams, because I mean, when you think you've seen a big team, I mean, there's huge teams out there. It seems like the one thread that weaves through these really big teams is that team leaders are constantly thinking about the team members. They're not just thinking about them and as the team leader and how it benefits them. They're trying to create a team that is built around the team members. So you bring these agents over. Let's talk specifically about, now that you're at eXp or your team's here, are there any things that your team is here? Are there any things that stand out to you that that the agents talk about that they're in a position to do now that they couldn't do before? Like, is there anything sticky like that you think stands out that makes it easier for a team leader like you to recruit your team?
Well, I think that they're very excited about the opportunity to build passive income with revenue share and with the stock awards. And I mean, and that's just another layer of when you peel the onion back, the stock awards. Like when you recruit somebody to the company and then they do their first deal and you get awarded, I think it's around 31 shares of stock.
It's $400.
It's $400, which right now that equates to around 30 some shares. Yeah. But either way, when they see that, they're going nuts. They never had anything like that before. And they are all, like on our team specifically, way more engaged, way more dialed in. The fact that they're sitting down with our coaching, doing what she was in here the other day last week and had 8 or 9 of them in a row, one after one, doing their one-on-one business planning and setting all of that. And I mean, they're walking out of here fired up. They're more engaged. We have our private Facebook group for our team that they're interacting in and just really, really dialing in their business. Here's the one thing I can tell you for sure. I used to teach classes when I was at the Market Center with KW, and they have programs like Ignite, and they have, I never taught Bold. That's something on a national level. The local level is Ignite, but the common thread that I'm getting from agents and other teams that I've spoken to is they do these trainings for somebody who's like brand new to about 2 or 3 million. They don't have, like, I feel at eXp now, we have more available to us that is training for agents like myself at a higher level who are doing 20+ million, getting in a circle of people that are running these big teams, reaching out. You and I were sharing some ideas of how you guys do stuff and how we do stuff before our Zoom call here. Just everybody that's willing to share is like I've never seen before.
Right. And when you're at the fastest growing real estate company on the planet right now, a lot of the agents are coming from a place where they want to be part of that growth and they want to help. They don't want to be the one rude eXp agent. Well, it's always funny. Real quick, it's always funny to me, and I caved into it for 6 years when I just rejected eXp completely. But it's funny to me, everyone says, oh, these eXp agents, all they want to do is recruit. Well, first of all, only about 8% of eXp agents out of the 87,000 have recruited anyone. But the reality of the matter is that I didn't really think of before. If you had an agent that was unhappy at their brokerage, they're not going to be out speaking highly of their brokerage just so that they could build, a stream of income. They would just leave.
Well, exactly. And you know, the one thing, and I'm sure you've experienced this now because you've been with eXp longer than us, with what we have in place on our team, just with our own Incorvaia team training and coaching alone, these other agents, when they come from other brokerages, they say, oh yeah, we get training, we get coaching, and then they come in and we have them, the sessions are open to anybody who wants to come.
Right.
They sit through one session and they go, holy crap, we didn't have anything like that.
Right.
Basically, the traditional companies of the world, when you get licensed, here's what to do in the first 2 weeks on how to not get sued.
Exactly.
It's the basic 101 stuff, where we're actually talking about, let us show you how you can generate to your sphere. Let us show you how you can interact with social media. Let us show you what type of community videos might get you more engagement in your community. Just those type of things, and getting them to actually plug in. It's amazing to watch the ones who do plug in, how fast they skyrocket.
Absolutely. The one thing that I heard from a couple of these other team leaders, and I wanted to see if you agree, they say these team agents or leaders that have come over that I've talked to, the big ones, they say that it's easier to recruit now because now when they're asking if they decide they want to add agents to their team, because recruiting is obviously a constant part of a mega team like yours.
Sure.
You can't just, because there's always going to be some sort of a treadmill. But the two things that I've heard, and I want to know if you agree, agents on the team are much more apt to recruit to the team now because they don't feel like it's about you. They feel like it's part of them as well. Because if they recruit someone to your team at eXp, they're going to get a small percentage of that residual income that those agents that they bring on generate from selling homes for as long as that agent is at eXp, not just on your team. But even if that agent joins your team and then leaves, the agent on your team who recruited that person is going to continue receiving revenue share from them. So that's a true benefit to that team agent that they're not going to get anywhere else. They're not going to just get a pat on the back, right?
Well, the difference is we're financially aligned. When we bring somebody to the company, we're financially aligned. So whether they're coming to join my team or whether they're just coming because of me, but they have their own team, if I recruit a big team tomorrow, and they decide to join eXp, they have full access to every manual I've put in place, everything I do. They want to send their agents to our coaching because we're in business together. And here's the thing. If I called you tomorrow and I said, hey, Will, listen, I got this big team I've been working on, and the owner's personality is very similar to yours, even if you weren't involved with that recruit, I'm sure you'd be more than willing to hop on a call with them.
Oh, yeah, because how do you think I got Ibrahim Hussein, who just happens to be at eXp on my podcast, and then Brad Vanderwall actually talked to another team agent that I was or team leader that I was working with in Canada.
Well, that's the thing. Some of our agents, like we have a young guy on our team, he's in his 20s, he's brand new, he's making cold calls like an animal. He's already he made like 11,000 calls in a month, and he already got like 3 or 4 deals because of it as a kid in his 20s. But he had somebody that he called on a cold call that happened to have their license on hold, who was going to be getting back into the business. And she came in and met with us, and he didn't have to do the recruiting appointment. We talked to her.
Right.
And that's his person. So we're all here to help each other. I mean, it's amazing. I wish I would have made the decision a couple years sooner. And we thought
everybody says that, but we weren't ready though. No one could have convinced me before, because I just didn't think it was a sustainable model. I just, because it was different, I just thought it was a gimmick. I just had it all wrong.
Well, and we probably could have done it a year sooner, because a lot of people don't realize, KW has independent offices, and we were part of the Strongsville franchise, and then they rolled out their statewide brokerages to give agents a little bit easier platform to expand. When we made that,
to compete with eXp, by the way.
Exactly. And when we made that switch, it was just as much work. It was literally just as much work. We had to switch all the signs, all the cards, all the listings, everything.
So you did it twice in a year.
We did it twice in a year. So it was a very big, daunting task.
So man, thanks for being on today. Is there anything you'd like final that, like, if you were talking to a team leader that you thought would benefit at eXp, is there any last thing that you'd want to add that they really need to hear about?
I mean, let me just tell you this, set your ego aside as a top producing team and look at the model. We resisted it just like Will resisted it, just like all these other big teams resisted it. And if you talk to 9 out of 10, they're going to say, I wish I would have made the move sooner. It's only in your benefit to listen to everything and talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about so you can get all the specifics and see if it makes sense for your business. But I would challenge you to take a look at the model and see. And I think once you peel the onion back and look at all the layers, you're going to be very surprised at everything that's available.
Because the thing is that I realized, unlike other brokerages that lead with their brand, I mean, all of them, all the national brands, they lead with their brand. eXp is more of a platform. Basically, if you look at it, if you forget about brokerages and you think about the platform that you're going to have your solo practice at, your team practice at, your brokerage at, eXp's created a platform where you lead with your own brand, and they just give you the tools and resources and the structure so that you can be the best that you can be. And that is the difference between, one of the key differences between eXp and other brokerages out there. Plus, obviously, they take half of their revenue. This is the one part that I want to finish on. I was always thinking, well, how can they give stock to the agents? How can they pay out revenue share without them just bleeding dry? Well, they don't borrow money for this. It's built into the commission plan and the revenue plan. Revenue share and stock are built into it. So they only ever take half of their revenue, and then they pay it back to the agents as a retention tool to make them agent owners and give them stock equity. And then the agents that want to help them grow the company, they share the revenue with. But it only comes out of half of the revenue that they get. That was the one missing piece that I didn't understand initially. That was the part that made me think it wasn't sustainable, but they never go into the other half. So the 20% commission, without getting in the weeds on the compensation plan that they get at the home office, 10% of it is paid out in stock and revenue share. They always keep the other half.
And with the way that the industry is going ever since COVID hit in 2020, and now we're hopefully getting out of the woods on that. But I mean, you go to these offices, and these offices at some of the traditional companies, they got 10, 15,000 square feet, and they have 2 or 3 agents working in the office.
Yeah, I know.
On a consistent basis. So it's just definitely a model that cannot be overlooked. And we're absolutely thrilled. We love it. We haven't been this energized in years, and we've already got things in place that we never had before. So 2020.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for taking the time. Thanks for taking the time with me today. And you have a great day.
Yeah, thanks, Will.